Alright, well, this is a little bit weird. I've made a few videos before this, but I just did voiceovers, didn't use my face, but I thought this way it'll be easier to edit, it'll be more personable, and yeah, I just think it would be a good idea to use a face cam rather than using home runs or other pictures as a layover, because this way it's like I said, it's a lot more personal than just using pictures and videos to cover it up. So before I head into this, let's just say I said something funny, you guys laughed, and now you want to listen to what I said, because that way it makes it easier for me to not think this is weird. Alright, so basically about this series where I predict an optimistic, realistic, and pessimistic season for all the Jays players came from an article I read a few years ago when Bryce Harper signed his massive 13-year contract, where this analyst predicted those seasons with an optimistic, realistic, and pessimistic season for all 13 years of the contract, which is a little bit much. You can't really predict how a guy's gonna do 13 years in the future, you know. But it got me thinking, and I really liked that video. And I thought, what a perfect way to start off this channel by doing what I think to be the optimistic, realistic, and pessimistic outlooks are for my favorite Blue Jays players like Vladdy, and in this video it's going to be Bo, but also later on it's going to be Varsho, the new guy, and Brandon Belt, also the new guy, Jansen, Kirk, Springer, all those guys, because what better way to talk about the Blue Jays than to predict, to assume that something could go well for once after we've had a couple of years of some disappointment. Gotta say, watching that 4-hour game against the Mariners was pretty depressing, I'm not gonna lie. So I bet everyone else felt the same way. But yeah, so basically I'm gonna be talking about what I believe to be the optimistic home run outlook, average, OBP, slugging, OPS, and just comparing it to what someone has already done. So like, let's get into the first example. My optimistic prediction is Troy Tulowitzki's 2011 season. He hit 30 home runs, hit 302, had a 377 OBP, a 552 slugging for a 916 OPS, and a 4.80 WAR. And basically this means what I think to be Bo's kind of ceiling for this upcoming season. I'm not saying he can't get a 930 OPS or a 5+ WAR, but just something that I think would be an optimistic look for him going into next season. Now, I was very excited to make this video. I've done Vladdy and Chapman before this, but Bo especially, because he's one of my favorite players. When he's on his torrid runs like what he had in September, where he hit over 400, had a 1,000+ OPS, player of the month, you know, it's just incredible to watch. I remember my dad was driving and I was in the passenger seat just watching his game against the Orioles when he hit 3 home runs and just going absolutely crazy, because I knew that game kind of signaled that he was back, because before that, we all know Bo really did not have a good season up to that point. Well, like after games like that, I just want to give the man all the money in the world. You know, you see all these guys, Trey Turner, Xander Bogaerts, and Dansby Swanson even got a lot of money. You know, you see all these star shortstop get so much money that I'm not really surprised that Bo Bichette will probably test the market, and he could leave. I don't know. I don't want to speculate that. We still have a few more years with him, but yeah, games like that just make me want to spend all the money in the world to keep him a Blue Jay. I know that wouldn't necessarily be smart because of his, I mean, kind of cliche to say now because everyone says it, his defensive problems, but it's true. He had a negative .8 defensive WAR. He, you know, so many times we saw him bobble balls that he should have had. He should have, a lot of times the throw over to first wasn't accurate, a lot of times. And it'll be interesting to see how he does without the shift next season. I know the Blue Jays like to cover him a lot. You'll put him up the center, and then you have a couple of guys on the right side. Chapman takes over the left for the most part, and, you know, help kind of cover Bo. And now that the shift is gone, and Bo is going to be put under a lot more pressure, a lot more ground ball opportunities. So it'll be interesting to see, because I know again, it's a cliche thing to say, but last year, having such a poor defensive season, it had to have affected his bat. You're getting all the news and reports saying, oh, he can't play defense, you know, and he knew it too. And I'm sure stuff like that affects athletes, and I wouldn't be surprised if that had affected his bat for the majority of the season. But again, he's only entering his age 25 season. He's going to get better, not only with the bat, but at defense too. So with that being said, I don't think a season like Tulo's would be that hard. Not hard, but that unrealistic to obtain. You know, he's flashed his ability to hit over 30 home runs, to hit 300, have a slugging of over 500, you know. The OBP is a little bit high, 377. I don't know if Bo can do that. Maybe towards a 365. But again, like this Tulo comparison is more so like a benchmark rather than always going to hit these numbers exactly. I'd say that everything, the home runs, the slugging, the OPS is all what I think to be optimistic for Bo. The OBP at 377 is a bit high, yeah. I'd say more so like a 360, a 355 is what we should be expecting at like the ceiling for Bo in this upcoming season. Moving on to Bo's realistic prediction, I have Ian Desmond's 2012 season where he hit 25 home runs, had a 292 average, a 335 OBP, and a 511 slugging for an 845 OPS and a 3.90 WAR. To put that in perspective, it goes along with Bo's per 162 game averages. Bo averages 28 home runs, 297 average, a 340 OBP, a 491 slugging, and an OPS of 831 to start his career off, which is very respectable for a guy who's only 24 years old and projects to be an all-star for, you know, the next however many years he's able to keep up this run. Heading into the season, I also feel like I'm rating him a little bit higher than most other people. For instance, Baseball Reference is predicting him to have a 22 home runs and an 813 OPS, and Fangraphs only projects him to have an 811 OPS, which to me is a little bit strange. While I don't think these numbers are crazy low, it is a bit pessimistic to think that's what he's going to get. That's a realistic outlook for him. Keep in mind, Bo does have a chip on his shoulder. Everyone knows the Blue Jays and Bo haven't been close in contract negotiations, and most recently in arbitration, Bo's asking for $7.5 million, and the Blue Jays are offering $5 million, which is $2.5 million difference. And out of the 33 players going to arbitration across the entire MLB, $2.5 million is tied for the biggest difference out of any team and player. So like I said, Bo does have a chip on his shoulder, and that can either mean he uses it as fuel next year or he lets it get to his head and we can see the Bo Bichette, the pre-All-Star game Bo Bichette, that stat line all season, which I don't think anyone would really want. Now heading on to the pessimistic prediction, it's Blue Jays legend Yangervis Solarte in his 2017 season. In 2017, Solarte hit 18 home runs, had an average of 255, an OBP of 314, a slugging of 410 for an OPS of 731, and a 1.20 WAR. Now, I know a lot of Blue Jays fans want to kill me saying that this is something Bo Bichette could have next season, but keep in mind this is pessimistic. You know, this is, let's say, like the floor of what Bo Bichette could be doing next season. For the majority of last year, it was pretty much his stat line. Bo's slash line was 260 average, a 305 OBP, a 420 slugging, and a 725 OPS. And that was the day before September started. So with only 2 months left in the season, Yangervis Solarte's stats looked identical to what Bo Bichette's stats were. So I don't think it's too crazy to say that that's his floor for next season. Yes, I know he ended up bouncing back, and at the end of the season, his stat line looked pretty respectable with an 802 OPS, a 290 average, 24 home runs, and led the league in hits for the second straight season. But the moral of the story is Bo is going to produce with the bat. It's just what he does in the field that's so uncertain. That makes me so interested in what Bo Bichette can do in the 2023 season. All right. That is it for this first face cam video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it was a little bit maybe awkward, but just think it's only going to get better from here. So even if you think it's, you know, right here at the moment, this is bottom, it's right here at the moment, it's only going to get higher. As I get more comfortable and better lighting, this isn't that great. And also, hope you guys enjoy this very aesthetic dorm room. I did put on my Blue Jays jersey for this, so you have a little bit of blue to look at. I am a Blue Jays fan, I swear. But yeah, please, I'm a small creator, but I have a lot of love for this game. I love the Blue Jays. I'm from Boston, actually, but I became a Blue Jays fan when I was 10 years old from Jose Bautista. He was easily my favorite player, and he made me become a Blue Jays fan. So I just want to spread my love of the game, my passion for the Blue Jays, so we can interact and build a baseball-loving community here. Even if you're not a fan of the Blue Jays, you know, it doesn't matter. I enjoy just talking about baseball. I'm currently living in Germany right now, so not many baseball fans here either way. So anybody, even if it's the Oakland Athletics, I'll talk about the Oakland Athletics with somebody out there, please. Just anything. Yankees and Astros a little bit. I'm saying Astros and I'm wearing a Springer jersey, but you get the gist. So thank you for watching. I hope this wasn't too bad. Yeah, so see you guys in the next video.